Is that your tagline? We don't add crap to your plate? Because I think that's great.
Hey, look, the old employer's tagline at some point was, we make HR software that doesn't suck. We don't say that in GovTech land.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Biz Dev Podcast, the podcast about developing your business. I'm David Baxter, your host, joined today, per usual, by Gary Voigt. Hello, Gary. It's a special day today.
Yeah, it's a special episode, an episode almost as old as I am.
Oh, let's not go there, Methuselah. But it is our 200th episode, which is pretty crazy. 200 episodes. Do you have a favorite moment?
My favorite moment out of 200?
Out of 200? Who's your favorite guest right now?
Oh, God. Of course it's Ryan.
I've been doing this thing. It's Ryan. Yeah, that's our guest today. Shit. Here's a funny story. Over the weekend, and I'll get back to the 200 thing, but you just reminded me of something. So my daughter is debating colleges, and she's deciding which one. And so I have this game that she absolutely detests, but I do it anyways, as I go, all right, gun to your head, which one, A or B? And she's like, I don't know. She just freaks out. It's a good time. Anyway, I'm going to give you some more time this episode while we're talking to Ryan here to think about your best and worst moments of the podcast. And I'm coming back to you. This isn't over. But until then,
I'll think about it. I can't promise they'll be good or entertaining, but I'll think about it.
Well, it's you, so you're not going to be entertaining. But anyway.
I barely get to talk anyway, so this might be the moment.
Ryan O'Donnell. More important, the adults are talking. Today, I'm very excited. We are joined by Ryan O'Donnell, who is the co-founder and CEO of Sunlight, which we're going to get into in just a minute. But we're going to start. It's 200 episodes. We're going to shake things up a little bit. All right? We are going to start with a this or that to get to know you a little bit. Ryan has no idea what these questions are. And that's important because they're stupid questions. All right. Start off easy. Mac or PC?
Mac.
All right. Do you have a reason
answer?
for that? What's that?
Do we all get to answer?
Everybody gets to answer. This is not just for Ryan. Go ahead, Gary.
We'll wait for Ryan.
We'll let you say something.
Okay, I'm Mac.
I am both. I have a PC at home and I work on a Mac because I'm a gamer and you can't game on Macs, period.
That's true.
So full stop. Anybody who wants to, I'll fight you. But I am both. I will say going back between each every day is very strange because the muscle memory of the keyboards, it's weird. All right.
So why does Ryan prefer Mac?
I switched to a Mac in college, never went back.
The battery life is hard to beat. That's really what it's at. That's why I switched for work, is the battery life. I would kill a Windows battery in 3 hours and then my Mac will go 8 hours. So I'm doing the same thing. It's crazy. All right. We're going to get really serious now. Marvel or DC?
Look. Yeah. I know some people are hating current
potential clients
of MCU films, but I'm Marvel, 110%.
Marvel, huh?
And I really like the new Superman movie. That was great.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for all new things. James Gunn's awesome. Marvel, I can't wait. Doomsday is going to be fun.
Oh, man, that is the most PC answer I've ever heard. Very good. Well done. You did both. Very good.
It's like you're an actual PR person in Hollywood. So fake.
Do you have a minder somewhere right behind you? You can't say that.
Well,
Gary,
the
what is
gun
you?
Question, David. Which one do you pick?
It's like,
my
which
favorite
child? Yeah. It's Sophie's Choice. I said that to my kids the other day, and they have no idea what Sophie's Choice is at all. Like, it's not even a movie. It's just, what are you talking about? Anyway, Gary, what's yours? Who are you?
I'm going to have to go with Marvel. Yeah.
Marvel? All right. Phone case or no case?
Phone case kind of guy.
Do you have do you do the big pillowy cases like it's a backpack around your phone?
Special ops otter case.
I just upgraded, and this is the smallest case I've had in a while.
Okay. So
I'm okay. I like to throw it a lot. Like, I'll just do this throughout the day.
it's like my wife.
You're giving me anxiety. Don't do that.
My wife will chuck a phone like nobody's business. We buy her the inflatable cases because seriously, the girl will break a case. I'm a no case guy. I'm a fan of, I live on the edge. I have already scratched my phone, so it's all good. Gary?
I was a caseman, but now I'm a no caseman because I started out with cases and then tried to get thinner cases and then considered the little bumper ones. And I was like, this is stupid. And then so I just took the case off and never looked back.
All right, last one. Here we go. If you have a question that you don't know the answer to, Are you a Google guy or a ChatGPT guy? Or any AI? I don't care which allegiance.
Say Google or AI.
So I just updated my default search to ChatGPT. I have to do a little bit extra effort now. So I got to type in google.com/ and then I can get to the Google, but otherwise I just default to ChatGPT now.
My extension to that is, are you trying any of the new browsers coming out?
Have not started on any of the new browsers.
Still on the Chrome?
Yet. Okay. I'm on the Chrome. I got too many extensions. I'm a little nervous about losing them.
They're all Chromium, so they call them with you. You get them all. So they just
Wonderful.
go.
They should work.
This is great. Look, learn something new every day.
Learn something new. Gary, are you a ChatGPT guy or are you a Google guy?
Now currently I am a Perplexity guy using the Comet browser.
Yeah, that's going to die.
I tried the others, but Comet seems to be a better fit for me.
Dude, I give Comet a year. My hot take, if I could do it, I think Apple just needs to buy Perplexity. Just call it a day. But that's just me.
Perplexity did just buy one of my favorite image generation, I guess you could say generative AI tools, Visual Electric. So I'm looking forward to see what they're going to do with that.
Yeah, they're not going to. When all this simplifies, we're in the big market now, and they're all going to die off in the next few years. Perplexity is toast. Calling it. All right. I currently am on the Atlas browser, which has ChatGPT built in. So you don't have a choice. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's the 1987 Duster browser. It's garbage.
I mean, it looks like Chrome. It's got a little thing that says Ask ChatGPT. But I will say, when you tell it to turn on, because we have the paid plan for Big Pixel, when you turn on the, hey, do something for me, it has this really cool, sparkly space thing that they put in front so that you can't move your mouse because they've now taken over. It's very cool. Anyway. So let's get down to what we're actually supposed to be talking about. Ryan did not join us today so that he could talk about silly things. Tell me about your company. I should start out. We have known each other a while now. You are one of Big Pixel's oldest clients back in the day. And I was going to tell you this story. I'm going to tell you it now. I was thinking about you the other day because we were talking. My wife was at this Halloween party and they were a bunch of single divorced ladies and a whole group of people. We're talking about dating apps. Yeah. Here's a weird story. They were talking about dating apps.
I know where this is going, Dave.
He knows exactly where it's going. And they were talking about Tinder. And I said, what's crazy? Big Pixel was around when that was the hotness and the swiping UI. Everyone wanted to copy it, including your company, Employ Us, back in the day. We made for you a swipe left and right employment app, which at the time was super cool. It was still a great UI. I'll stand by that one.
It was cool.
That was crazy. It's man, that was and I was trying to think how long ago that was. It had to have been at least 9 years ago. It's been a while.
Yeah.
But you have
almost a decade ago.
That's crazy.
That's great. The Swipey app, it did not catch on in the world of improving the process for employee referrals. It turns out people don't want to meet their next coworker
by swiping right.
It was not a thing. Eventually, the problem is there's not enough jobs out there, so you eventually swipe through all the jobs. I don't know if you remember this. Once you got through all the cards in that iteration of Employ Us, we had the guy from Office Space there. Yeah, so it'd be great. Thanks.
You mean Lumbar?
And it was, some people got it, some people didn't. And we learned a ton in Employ Us. It was a fun
That's fair. But you are now doing pretty important work, I should say. So I want you to tell me all about your company now, because you're one of the Raleigh startup rocket ships going off. I see your name all over the news and all the goodies. So tell me about Sunlight.
Story very much actually got started during the Employ Us days. While we were building that, my wife and I became foster parents. So we got to see that whole wonderful world, the exact opposite of tech startup land.
That's got to be the most sarcastic, wonderful I think I've ever heard. That is a brutal process, is it not?
It is a world of fax machines and snail mail, is one way to put it. We're talking about which browser are we using by which AI overlord we want to give all of our data to. The world of local social services is still very much a world of pen and paper and fax machines. And it just drove my wife and I crazy. And I was like, surely there's a better way. And so we started that after we had sold Employ Us to really just improve quality of communication and legal representation in the child welfare world. If you look at all of our social safety net programs that we have in this country, so many of them our manual. It's paper driven. There's notes in a file cabinet somewhere. And that's no way to run these giant programs that like so many people depend on. And we saw the last one, we wanted to do something. And there's a very few problems, I think, bigger to solve than does our child welfare system like actually work for the kids and families that are impacted by it. So threw our hat in the ring a couple years ago to start building stuff in that world. And it's been a blast.
So practically speaking, what does Sunlight do? Is it just for the foster system? You're modernizing the foster, or is it bigger than that? Where does it sit?
Yeah, so we're building out a couple of different products. Our first product is called Your Case Plan, which often will get described as like my chart for foster care. So it's a secure, HIPAA compliant way to communicate, helping foster parents connect with caseworkers, parents connecting with their attorneys, really help get everyone to stay on the same page and reduce the time kids are in care, reducing court delays, making sure like lines of communication are open. So that was kind of the first product. And then we recently acquired another company called Casa Manager that builds a case management software for a child's advocate in court. And really what we see ourselves building out is a collection of products that all work to improve the outcomes of kids and families in care. And we'll do that in a lot of different ways for a lot of different stakeholders. The system's super complicated. At the end of the day, so much of it has to do with the organizations like serving kids or parents actually able to like do good work. And does technology help them do that work better or faster? Or does it take 30% of their day because they're like trying to hit refresh on an old browser that doesn't really work? And they can only upload things one at a time. And they get the spinning wheel of death every 15 minutes. So we heard a lot of that. And we were like, let's go.
Interesting. So you're dealing with, and there's a lot of companies that deal with your population, your customer population, could be on really bad internet, could be on a really old computer. And that's so different than most startups, because most startups, you're assuming your client's on broadband, right? And they're rocking it out and they've got all the fancy stuff because you're thinking tech forward, right? But that's not your world. That you've got a very different thing. So you got to build for that.
Oh yeah. Like offline mode by default on day one, accessible on day one, being able to help folks who might not have English as their primary language day one. These are all the things that like in tech startup land, you're going fast. These are like, we'll get to it someday.
Yeah.
And that's honestly like most of the stuff that I see in the GovTech world. They might speak to, oh yeah, we check that box, but the product experience is crap. And the implementation is worse. The way we think about it is I need someone who is going through some of the most stressful experiences of their life. And my software needs to like not add more crap to their plate. And if you've got...
Is that your tagline? We don't add crap to your plate? Because I think that's great.
Hey, look, the old Employus tagline at some point was we make HR software that doesn't suck. We don't say that in GovTech land, but let's just say everyone knows there's bad software out there.
So your client is governments. That's who you're selling to, is government. That, I've never been in that space. I don't think we've ever even had a client in that space before. But that sounds like the most brutal cycle. Isn't that incredibly long? I'm thinking startup, like are you getting investment, or where are you at on that world?
Yeah, so we've raised some money. We funded it ourselves for the first like 2 years or so. And we raised some money this past summer. But yeah, sales cycles are long. Budgets are tight. Budgets are getting tighter.
Yeah, especially now, right?
It's a great time to build in GovTech. That's the message. I'm a great salesman for the sector. I used to sell software to HR people, and I was told that sales cycle was long, and they didn't have budget. So I decided to go after someone where the sales cycles are longer, and the budgets are at sometimes even smaller.
Because employment was too easy.
Yeah.
We gotta keep leveling up here.
It's too
bureaucracy of
easy.
HR land was not enough for me.
Yeah, that was the other question I was going to have. Oh, sorry, David. You mentioned the budget constraints, and right now, I could just also imagine the amount of communication and lack of communication between just getting something signed off and approved.
Yeah, it can take a really long time to get anything approved. You're spending the public's dollars, taxpayer-funded things. So you want to make sure that's not wasted. You want to make sure things are competitive. But at the end of the day, great products should win, right? And today, somehow that doesn't happen. A lot of like custom stuff gets built. We've got some of the largest consulting firms in the world making a ton of money off of government.
Tons of money.
Not delivering great products.
Do you have to throw your hat in a ring against a bunch of other companies that are bidding for the same type of work? Or are you competing with systems that are already in place?
Usually there's nothing, like there's no incumbent to replace. It's there's a paper form, PDF form that you have to like print out, fill out, fax.
You're a first mover for all intents and purposes.
Like, in the grand scheme of tech startup land, there's not a lot of innovation.
There's not a lot of people targeting foster care and this kind of stuff. I mean, there's a lot of GovTech, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
But you picked a lane that no one is currently in, unless they do custom.
Yeah.
Is that
like there's, like we're all here in North Carolina. I think, Gary, I don't know if you're in North Carolina or not.
Gary's a Floridian.
Whoa. Okay. All right. That's okay. We can accept you.
Yeah. It's like you're in the 80s here. So
I assume North Carolina and Florida probably have similar challenges in this, but North Carolina, our state has spent over $100 million building custom software for child welfare with nothing to show for it.
Man, I could sling some serious code for $100 million.
Right? I'm just saying, like, the amount of spend compared to the outcome, there's a big gap. So
I'll tell you a story.
It's overlooked, though. No one wants to build.
My favorite government efficiency story. Actually, where I met Gary, I was living in Florida. I worked with Gary's brother at Florida House of Representatives. This was 20 years ago. Oh my gosh, I'm old. Anyway, they would not buy he's frozen again, isn't he?
But
there he goes. Yeah. No, that's fair. I was like, either he's the most still human and I'm telling the worst story ever. Anyway, so the government would not buy, I was on the 8th floor, which is where all IT was. They would not buy the 8th floor coffee. If you wanted coffee in the morning, you had to pitch into the coffee fund, and they were very strict about it. You had to give $5 a week for the coffee fund. But every 2 years, all the representatives, whether they were reelected or not, would get all new tech, all new phones, computers, anything every 2 years. And I just thought, that is lovely. That is just exactly government in a nutshell right there.
Yeah, that is it. All right. So we see some crazy stuff. It's amazing what people actually spend money on. And like a lot of things, sometimes the things that are like, they're not the biggest ticket item in government. They're not the flashiest thing. It's not on the front page of every newspaper, but they're like the systems that like really matter. And a lot of times they either just get neglected or they get built out custom 10 years. It takes 5 years to build it. It's out of date the day it launches, and everyone's complaining about it on launch day. And then they complain about it for 5 to 10 years. And then they replace it again. And it's another.
Do it again.
So I just believe there's got to be a better way than that. And that's what we're trying to put out there now.
But at the end of the day, what you're doing matters. If you succeed, it's got to give you a warm fuzzy, right? You're not just building another pair of pants, or you're building another social media app that'll suck your soul into your phone. You are doing something that is benefiting, what's the right way of saying it? Some of the hardest. No, I'm just saying, I'm thinking of his population, those kids. I'm thinking of those kids. That is some of the hardest road, the hardest life. I know foster kids. I've known people who've gotten foster kids. It is brutal. And the fact that you're helping them and making that process easier is awesome. That's got to, you go home at night going, yes, this is awesome.
We go home. It's a lot of hard work. It's very difficult work. Like we see the best and worst of society. I kid you not, in every way. Like at the end of the day, like our whole company was built to reduce the time kids are stuck in care. Our foster son was in the system for almost 7 years. So we got to see, we got a front row seat to it. And without even getting into all the different options in the child welfare world of how do we best serve them, I think like everyone generally agrees that you probably shouldn't just be stuck there for most of your childhood. Cool. Wondering like, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? There's reports in Voigt County, you got kids like sleeping in hotels because we don't have enough foster homes for them. And we've got family who's trying to raise their own family and they can't, connect with someone at the office because the phone lines don't work. It's like, there's a bunch of problems to solve there, but we want to like basically build the machine so that we can push a button and get better outcomes. And then I want to give lawmakers that button and say, hey, the more you push this, the better the outcomes get. And we have like real ways to like actually deliver better results. Then, what happens historically is like once every 5 years, there's a bunch of hearings about it and people talk about it. And then we do a couple studies and we get a few commissions to write some reports. And then eventually we decide we should do another hearing. You know what? So I'm just excited about solving some problems on a slightly faster time scale.
You're going against the grain there, Ryan, and trying to make government efficient. That's going to be a battle.
Big Pixel builds world-class custom software and amazing apps. Our team of pros puts passion into every one of our projects. Our design-infused development leans heavily on delivering a great experience for our clients and their clients. From startups to enterprises, we can help craft your ideas into real-world products that help your business do better business.
So I call this my blue sky question. So imagine in front of you, no major hurdles. Everything you want to happen in the next 5 years is going to happen with Sunlight. What does Sunlight look like?
That's a great question. Like at the end of the day, like there's about 500,000 kids that are impacted by foster care in any given year. You would look at that, all of those kids and families that end up getting impacted. And like in 5 years, let's say we have a lever that we've pulled. We should be able to look at like the day that we launched Sunlight, 5 years before, 5 years after. We should look at those stats. We should say, yep, kids are better off. We've got kids that are safer, reducing like incidents of child abuse. We've got kids that have an experience in the foster care system that's actually positive. Like right now, a lot of kids, they age out of foster care. They're the most likely to be homeless, incarcerated, got higher rates of PTSD than war veterans. So like the stats are gruesome. And I say that because it's kind of like grounded is like, we spend like $100,000 a year per child in the foster care system, right? And if you were to ask anyone if they would put their own kid in the system, they'd say absolutely not.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So in 5 years, I think if we can show, hey, the states that have used our product, like they actually serve kids better. Like they actually get kids the help they need, the families, the stability that they need. That would be really cool. And that would be very much like the starting point for us. In Employ Us days in the last startup, 5 years, you got like an exit within 5 years. And this one in 5 years, that's like warm up, first quarter has finally finished. It's a different time scale than the last one.
That's interesting. So are you saying, because you've jumped around and done startups and all sorts of things, you have been a serial entrepreneur over even though you're a young guy by our standards, especially. Are you saying this is your passion? This is you for the next 20, 30 years?
This would be as long as I could physically do it. And
That's
I'm not that cool. I got plenty of time. I joke with someone, you appreciate this from early days of Employ Us. Like I was a recruiter in college. Like that, I was like 6 months. And I remember being like, I really felt the pain of being a recruiter. And I spent 9 years building HR software based off that experience. We got to live front row seat in the child welfare world for many years, right? I could do this for decades, right? It's just a different scale of the problem. And I nerded out about building HR software because like I had to. It was a part of the job, but this is a much more fulfilling work than the last one.
For sure. I admire that. I think most people, it's funny, I ask that blue sky question pretty regularly, and it's not uncommon when that 5 years, they're going to sell it. That's their hope within 5 years. And I've been surprised by that because I've probably asked that 20 times now. And it's not a small percentage of people who be like, success for me is getting out of this. And I'm like, that's really interesting because does that not mean you're not passionate about what you're doing right this moment? I just don't get that. It's very different because I've been doing this now almost 13 years and I love this is what I do. And the idea of selling it really makes me sad, not excited. Not that I'm selling it. I'm just saying it's not something I put on a 5-year timeline or something like that on. This is what I do until I can't do it. And so I love finding compatriots with that same mindset. You found what you were called to do, as it were, and you're now doing it. And I think that's great. I hope you're able to do it until you're as old as Gary. And really, that's a long time.
Well, yeah, we had a company who had reached out about potentially acquiring us already. And it was one of those classic examples where you're like, what else would I do? Like I would start this again. I wouldn't know what else to do with my life. So like similar kind of thing is like the prospect of being on the other end of an acquisition and being like, what am I supposed to do now? I thought this is what I was going to spend a few decades on. Get all this free time. What should I do with it? Let's go start Sunlight version 2. Like it's just skip all that. Just keep going.
Ryan, with your experience as a serial entrepreneur, if you could sum up 3 valuable pieces of advice for a new startup or a new entrepreneur, what would they be?
Most important thing is, like, at the end of the day, you got to build something that people love to use. If you do that, everything else works. It's just, if you don't build something that's great, then everything is a lot harder. Sales is harder, marketing is harder, recruiting is harder, right? When you build something that like actually works, that like people fall in love with, everything's so much easier. My co-founder and our first investor in our last company would always distill things down to 3 things. He'd like find 3 things on his desk, and you got to sell it, you got to fulfill it, and you got to do all that back office stuff. So every problem in business, he would always distill it down to these 3 things. You got a problem? Oh, is it because you can't sell? Oh, is it because you like go back on your word? You don't actually deliver the thing you sold? Or do you not follow the books? You don't send the invoices. You don't deal with the HR stuff. So I think sometimes we like overcomplicate things. It's just build a really good product. And then those 3 things become very easy to do. So I didn't fit into the question of what are the top 3, but maybe it's just simplify it. Just do one, and then the rest figures itself out.
I love the fact that just building something that people are going to love and use, building something great as the primary goal. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. So if anybody wants to learn more about you, Ryan, or about Sunlight, where's the best place for them to reach out and find you?
Best place, I spend way too much time on LinkedIn. It's a side effect of building an HR software business because you spend too much time on LinkedIn. So you can find me there. Company is Sunlight. Our website's sunlighthq.com. You'll learn more about what we're building there too.
Awesome.
Very
we'll put those
good.
links in the show notes too.
Now, Gary, I'm not letting you off the hook. It's time. 200 episodes.
I was supposed to be thinking about something.
Wow.
Okay, yeah. So
well done, dude.
I can't pick out specific moments or events, but I can say from a high and low standpoint, the coolest thing about doing this podcast are the different guests that we get to interview, the different stories that they have behind their products and their businesses, and the range of different industries and products that we've been able to cover. And I will say, not as a low, but I'll just say towards the bottom of that range, we once interviewed a used car salesman who had a used car salesy app and had no idea what he was doing or talking about and was pretty much half drunk during the whole interview.
Oh man, I will tell you
on the
behind
high
the scenes
end of
story
that
there.
scale.
I will tell
Present
that story
company excluded. Sorry, Ryan, but we got to interview a scientist who was actually talking to us about quantum computers and how they work and the future of quantum computers. And me and you, David, were looking at each other. We don't know. We can't.
What do I
figure out,
ask?
Huh? What?
We
it was way out of our
screen.
league. Smart questions? No. We had questions, but not smart questions. But we did learn a lot, so that was really cool.
So that guy he first mentioned, I obviously won't mention his name, but before he came on, this is 100% true. This was early. I'll just say that. It was early. The dude comes on just like you are now. We were in Zoom back then. We were not on Riverside yet. And he comes on, he's got a beer in one hand and a vape in the other. Okay, this is 100% true.
He's leaned back, reclining in his chair.
He finishes off his beer, puts it off camera, puts the vape down. He's like, all right, let's do this. And we're like, so we called him, what was it? Is it Beer McVapes? I think is what we've called him from that point on. Unbelievable. That has happened one time. Unbelievable. And I hope, and his startup made no sense. Like we had to edit it so bad because what he was saying was just
I don't even know
true.
if we actually put it out.
No, we did. It was really short.
Okay.
It was really short.
Don't go back and look up that one.
Everyone, just go back to the episode list.
Yeah. So that's
my list of episode.
Super short one.
So this is actually episode 199.5.
No, we're going to go delete that one. And now this is 199 and no one understands what's going on.
We'll just put an asterisk up. Yeah. Clarify it in a couple of years.
All righty. On that note,
you don't get
what? Do
you
I
have to answer that question too?
I was too busy interviewing our guests to be thinking of what. All right. I don't know if I have a high and low. I've enjoyed doing the show. I would say 90% of the time. Man, we've had some rough guests over the years. But I love learning.
We've had some really great ones too.
And talking about things that mean something. That's what I was getting excited about with Ryan. Talking about and being able to nerd out with some guests. That's been really fun. But I think I love entrepreneurship in general. And so I think that passion is the reason we keep doing this. And talking to people like Ryan who are building the next thing, in his case, I think is amazing. But there's a lot of startups I don't understand what they're doing. And that's fine because it's exciting for them. But I love what you're doing.
When Ryan speaks to solving a problem, he's actually solving like a real problem. It's not just some like way to get new leads as solving a problem. Like it's actually solving people.
But if anyone needs custom software for leads, we'll happily build it.
Yeah.
On that note, we don't have to have a really super deep cut software all the time. Anyway, on that note, thank you, Ryan, so much for joining us. It's been so much fun.
It's been a blast, guys. It was great catching up.
Yeah,
on that note, we are out. Yeah, Gary, no one cares.
I know. Thanks for letting me talk more than 3 seconds this episode. That was your gift.
Once every 200 episodes, I'll let you talk a bit more.
You get a 5-minute Gary's Corner. Here we go.
Gary's Corner over there. That's right.
I'm going to start my own podcast. This what Gary would have said, and then I'll publish it the day after this one.
That's fair. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this week. We'll be back next week. Have a good one.
That wraps up this episode of the BizDev Podcast. And this time you get me, Jen Baxter, co-owner of Big Pixel and David's wife. Yep, I finally took the mic, or wrestled it, away from David. BizDev is a production of Big Pixel, a US-based provider of UX design, strategy, and custom software. This podcast is edited by audio whiz Matt McCracken and Christy Pronto, marketing guru for Big Pixel. Want to connect? Shoot us an email at hello@thebigpixel.net or find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, X, and LinkedIn.